By the way, They All Laughed, which is my favorite film of mine, is available on DVD. Very, very good transfer. And Wes Anderson did a very good interview with me on it, so it's worth seeing. And Audrey is luminous, and John Ritter is great in it, and Ben Gazzara and Dorothy Stratton. It's a wonderful picture, my favorite picture. I can't watch it, it's too sad for me, but I'd recommend it highly.
Your friendship with Orson Welles was interrupted for quite a long period after a film, and I guess you eventually reconciled before he died. Can you talk about that a little? Or?
Well, it's a long story. Orson could be difficult, and it's such a long story. He said he wanted to make St. Jack, so we got him the rights, but it was so complicated getting the rights because Playboy owned them, and we were in the midst of suing Playboy, so we had to settle the lawsuit. Shepard had to settle the lawsuit, which she didn't really want to do, but she did it for Orson to get the rights to St. Jack, and then Orson said he wanted to do it with Jack Nicholson, and we got Jack Nicholson, and then he decided he didn't want to do it with Jack Nicholson, he wanted to do it with Dean Martin, and then we thought, somebody's going to tell Jack, and so that hurt my relationship with Jack, and then Playboy and Sybil felt that Orson was dragging his feet and would never get around to writing the script, so I was asked to direct it myself, which then made Orson feel I betrayed him, and anyway, it was ugly. We made up toward the end. But he did live in my house for a while, off and on for a couple of years, which was fun. One of my favorite memories of Orson is him running through my office on his way to his part of the house, saying, "Dick Van Dyke is on." I love Dick Van Dyke. One time, Sybil was walking by his side of the house, and she smelled fire, smoke. She knocked on his door. She said, "Orson, is everything all right? I smell smoke." "Yes, just a little privacy would be fine, but just a little privacy is all we need." I smell something. "Yes, well, if I could have a little privacy, it would be fine." So later that day, he went out and she went out, and I went downstairs, and the housekeeper said, "Mr. Welles seems to have had an accident. What happened?" "Well," and she held up a white terry cloth robe, and there was a big burn hole right in the middle. Seems he had put his cigar in his pocket, forgot it was lit. The thing caught fire. He quickly took it off and threw it into the bathtub, but some of the burning part landed on the carpet and burned the carpet a bit too. And I'll take care of that.
Tell the story about it.
Then he, oh yeah, well, and then did I tell this last night?
Yeah, I'll hear it again.
Oh, yeah. And then a few days later, Sybil got a beautifully wrapped present. She opened it up, it was a beautiful illustrated, very beautifully illustrated, expensive book about opera. She loves opera. And inside he had drawn a picture of a house burning. He was a wonderful artist. And he had a picture of a ladybug in the foreground, screaming. And underneath it he wrote, "Ladybug, ladybug, fly away home. Your house is on fire and so is your house guest." I love Orson. The Frito story is another story. It's funny. We were shooting The Other Side of the Wind. I was in it with John Huston. And one day I hope that film will come out. We've been trying to get it out for years. It's shot but not edited completely, so it's an amazing piece of work. It's really his last film. And it'll come out eventually, but we're having troubles. Anyway, we were shooting, and Orson was very, 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 very wonderful with the actors. Kid you around, make you comfortable, give you a good time. But he was a little rough on the crew. And there was about 12 men in the crew, and they were all young, enthusiastic, like film students who would do anything for us. And they practically had to do anything. And it was now 3 in the afternoon, and they'd been working since 7 with no break. So Frank Marshall, whom I'd done the job on the picture, came over to Orson and with a great trepidation said, "Orson, you know, the crew's been here since 7, and it's 3 o'clock, and they're kind of hungry." "All right, if they have to eat, let them go have lunch. I'm not hungry." "Well, I mean, they have been here since 7, Orson." "That's all right, it's fine. Let them go. If they have to eat, let them go and have lunch." I'm not hungry, Orson," I said. "Fine, Peter and I will stay here while the crew goes and has lunch." So Frank backed off, sent the crew to lunch. So Orson and I are talking for a few minutes, and then he says to me, "Are you hungry? Because I'm absolutely starving." I said, "Yeah, I can eat." So we go into the kitchen. On top of the refrigerator is not a family size, but an industrial size bag of Fritos. That's a vintage amount. He picked it up with 2 hands, ripped off the top, most of the contents onto the kitchen table, sat down, grabbed a huge handful, put it in my mouth. So I did the same thing. Both sitting there looking it up. Orson says, you know, you don't gain weight if nobody sees you eat it. It was funny.
But first I want to thank you for What's Up, Doc. It was my first film-going experience. My extended family was there, and they laughed so hard that they cried. So thank you.
Thank you for telling me that. I enjoyed it too.
Like that. And my question, I guess, is about your relationship with Hitchcock and what it was like, writing the book.
Hitchcock was the opposite of John Ford. John Ford would never want to answer any question at all. Hitch would go into great detail. Like a favorite professor, he would explain why he did a shot the way he did it or how he did it. He was very, very wonderful that way.